Time to kick some ass.
Welcome to Georgetown University School of Medicine here in our nation's capital. It's a beautiful night for football and the hype surrounding the Hoya community is building by the hour. We gather here tonight to partake in one of our school's proudest traditions. You hear about it when you interview, you hear about it in orientation, and you hear about it all year long, and the night has finally arrived. The reason we all choose Georgetown, Powderpuff football. I'm Tim Hahn, and I'm joined here by Nick Lachik and Gabrielle Musey. We're about an hour before game time, and the game time temperature is about 64 degrees, and the field is looking great.
That's right, Tim. The conditions are ripe for heroes to emerge tonight. Now, the Powderpuff football game has been a long-standing tradition here at Georgetown, and is something the students look forward to every year.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. In a few minutes, we're going to be hearing from one of the NFL's best as he weighs in on Powderpuff 2011. But first, the story of the offseason has been the retooling of the M2 lineup. Maggie and his coaching staff have done a tremendous job, despite some adversity.
Right, well, the lockout really hurt. It definitely prevented the team from getting in some early practices. But I don't think it hurt the M2s nearly as much as it hurt the M1s. Apparently, no one had told them that the lockout ended until about 3 weeks ago. So the question for a long time was, will the M1s even have a team? Now the reports I'm getting say that they decided to make up for lost time by having every single girl in the class join the team. In fact, they even asked Miss Sullivan if she wanted to play for them. Interesting if you ask me.
Now, Gabrielle, you played offensive line for Succinate this last year. Tell us a little bit about what the M1s should be expecting.
Well, I'll be honest with you. At this point in the year, the M1s have just gotten halfway through MHG, which means they know absolutely nothing. They haven't been through any real pressure yet, so we're not sure how they will perform. I will tell you this. There are 3 things that the M2s do much better than the M1s. They have better coaches, they have practiced longer, harder, and better than the M1s, and the M2s party way harder. Here we see an example of this. Don't be fooled by the M2s showing off their phenomenal dance skills. What we are actually looking at here is an M1 post-exam party. And those kids in the corners are not actually underage kids who have snuck in, as it may appear. They are actually M1s. Really a bad sign of things to come.
Now, the M1 team is an interesting topic because of some of the names in their class. Future Dr. Money, Future Dr. Truelove, Future Dr. DJ Jaegerbaum. Are we in Jersey? These sound more like cartoon characters than doctors.
The fact that Georgetown admitted these students is just deplorable. In fact, we recently launched an investigation to discover the true identities of several students who may have lied on their AMCAS application. Starting next week, we'll require several students to present their birth certificates. Even if they turn out to be real names, we will definitely have them change their names to something more appropriate, like Smirnotopoulos.
Well, let's get back to the M2s for a second. We've seen that their practices are intense and organized, and they have talent all over the place. The strength training program that Ben Cranen has them on has been paying off. And look at this clip, filmed by amateur filmmakers and sent to our studio. Impressive. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the M1 practice. Oh, I'm sorry. There are none. Joining us now from down on the field is our own Claire Daniels, who's standing by with Indianapolis Colts quarterback Peyton Manning.
All right, thanks, Tim. I had a chance to track down Peyton Manning here to my right, who's attending his first Powderpuff game here at Georgetown.
Well, I couldn't be more excited to come and watch the game. I'm really excited for a good one. I'm even missing the Tennessee-LSU game for this. Best sporting event on the planet.
So, Peyton, you've seen a lot of football in your day. What is it about this game in particular that makes it so special?
Well, you know, throughout the year, the M1s and the M2s, they both pretend to like each other. But in this game, all the big sib, little sib stuff flies out the window, and we get to watch them beat the crap out of each other. You know, I'm here for the good game, the camaraderie, and afterwards, of course, the dance floor rhino.
Of course. So, now that you've had a chance to see both teams practice, what do you think?
Well, you know, the M1s think they have it together, but we all know they're going down, as I've heard they do every year. However, the M2s, you know, they've got a great head coach, and Coach Maggie. He's smart, he knows his football, he's a good motivator, and he's a good-looking guy. Reminds me of myself.
So then, what does the M1 team remind you of?
The Eagles.
Right. So I heard you had a neck surgery recently. Can you tell me a little bit about what happened?
Well, basically, they had to detract the intervertebral disc and fuse the cervical vertebrae together using a bone graft. Now, I know at this point in the year the M1s don't even know what a neck is, but the M2s know what I'm talking about.
Okay, Peyton. So you've had 4 MVP awards, 11 Pro Bowls, and a Super Bowl ring. With all that experience, who are you picking to win tonight's game?
Well, I think we all know the M2s are going to win, so it's, I don't really care about that. I'm here to watch a bunch of hot, sweaty girls beat the crap out of each other, the beer,
I hear ya.
and like I've said, the dance floor rhinos afterwards.
All right, great. Thanks, Peyton. Back to you, Tim.
This was the scene earlier today when some of the M2s were arriving at Med's End. You see here Caitlin McGovern, a key piece of the high-powered offense. She'll be a receiving threat in the red zone. And there's Jenny Van Kirk, who at last year's Winter Ball was named Best Athlete of the class of 2014. There's Lauren Thornton greeting some fans as she enters.
A lot of focus, as you can see. These girls are hungry for a victory and ready to go.
You probably thought Georgetown was a leader in the field of ethics. When we come back, you're going to hear how one high-ranking official changed all of that.
Here at Georgetown, we have one of the nicest fields in the country, but people don't realize is how much work the Powderpuff coaches put into maintaining the field. Recently, we've been having trouble keeping people off the field.
Missed a spot.
Our attention to detail, it makes all the difference.
In 2007, an investigation by former Senator George Mitchell into the use of steroids in baseball was released and became known as the Mitchell Report. However, the phrase, the Mitchell Report, has recently taken on a new meaning here at Georgetown. Maggie Burke has the story.
At first glance, the scene looks like the familiar game played in fields across the nation. Girls celebrating the chance to participate in one of America's pastimes, enjoying the time-honored tradition of Powderpuff football. Recently, allegations have surfaced that for years, Dean Mitchell has been running an underground gambling ring centered on Powderpuff football. It has been reported that Dean Mitchell pockets a substantial percentage of the cash in clear violation of GUSLM ethics. At a recent Dean's lunch, Dean Mitchell publicly claims that upwards of $5 million go through his office annually. This is the Mitchell Report. In an attempt to get my questions answered, I went undercover. Naturally, I went to the man in the center of the scandal, Dean Mitchell himself.
Thank you, Megan, for asking about the renovations. It's been a long time coming, and I'm pleased for the students that we've been able to finally build nice space in the Ginkgo Bistro and the Center City and Town Center, and I think that's been a long time coming.
It's just great. I love the Ginkgo Bistro. It's just delightful. But what do you have to say about the allegations surrounding your gambling ring? How much money do you make on the Powderpuff game? Where does the $5 million go?
Megan, the Powderpuff game is the biggest game of the decade. What do you mean? I mean, who do you want to win this year? Do you have any inside information?
We've heard there's a ring of professors with you at the center of this gambling ring, year after year.
It is expensive to buy bow ties. But I would never do anything like that. As a matter of fact, I need to run. I'm sorry. I really need to leave.
Thus far, many of Mitchell's closest allies are refusing to cooperate with the investigation.
Listen, I really don't want to talk about it. Ray's a friend of mine. I mean, I don't think I should
So you're
talk.
claiming you know nothing about the gambling of the Powderpuff football game?
Ray would never be involved in something like that. I certainly would never be involved with that.
Dr. Sherman, we have on our records that you gambled $2,000 in the game last year.
2,000. Listen, did I tell you that Pippa pooped in the potty this morning? It's really exciting.
Dr. Sherman, we have records of what you're growing in there. We have pictures. Now we can make these go away if you help us.
He's been doing it for years. He makes about $5,000 a year. He spends most of it on hockey tickets.
Undaunted and driven by my love of Georgetown, I continued to pursue the truth. Okay, I think I understand now. That's how arachidonic acid is cleaved.
Good.
I think I'm getting this. I just have one more question.
What's that?
Exactly how much money did you gamble on a Powderpuff game last year?
What are you talking about? I don't know anything about that.
Dr. Cook, we know you're involved, but we're more interested in Dean Mitchell. Do you know what he spends his money on?
Not really sure. I think he had his house remodeled, something about a staircase or something.
Dr. Cook, we know you spend a lot of time at the M1s. This year, would you gamble your own money on them?
You crazy? You see those MCP scores?
Are you saying that they can't play football?
Well, not if they can't play any better than understand prostaglandin synthesis.
Oh, just one more thing. What's your favorite compound?
Oh, Succinate.
That's what I thought. I finally found someone willing to discuss Dean Mitchell's gambling, but they demanded to remain anonymous. I traveled to the depths of Med Dent to speak with him.
I was approached several years ago by Dean Mitchell and asked if I wanted to put some money on the Powderpuff game. I think it's ridiculous and it needs to be stopped. It's not fair that he can make all that money legally while some of us have to work for years to publish guided electronic dissectors.
I can see how disturbing it must be for you to sit back and watch this unfold year after year. Any idea how far this reaches?
I trust no one at this point. The names I've heard in connections to this have included deans, physicians, hospital employees. I've even heard the workers at Subway are getting their kickbacks.
Simply deplorable. How did you manage to stay above the fray?
Well, you know, I'm a busy guy. Got to do perfect prosections, help my son with his rapping career, school of thought, YouTube him, he needs the money, and hang out with Arjun. Can you imagine that?
One last thing. Is there any hint you can give the viewers as to your true identity?
Well, I'm either A, a highly esteemed anatomy PhD, B, a studly gentleman of Cuban descent, C, the author of an electronic dissector now available on Amazon, D, A and B if it's a Sunday, E if it's a Monday, the top all of the above. You can tell the M1s in the audience this is the easiest multiple choice question they'll ever get from me. God save any of them who haven't started studying for limbs.
Not to worry. As evidenced by their team name, they seem to be more interested in proctology than orthopedics. Not everyone at the School of Medicine was ashamed to admit that they benefited from this scandal. Dr. Frog, have you heard anything about this gambling ring?
Of course. I've been gambling for years. I make tons of money. How do you think how I send my kids to private school?
Are you afraid about what the M1s think or what they might do to you?
They don't even know who I am.
Despite our investigative efforts, we were unable to gather enough evidence to take our case to the authorities. As long as this man is free to gamble unchecked in the halls of Georgetown, our sacred tradition remains at risk.
You're on.
Joining us now from our studio in Caduceus is Jake Fennessy, who's going to give you your Powderpuff Fantasy Football Report, telling you who's hot and who's not.
Welcome to the Powderpuff Fantasy Football 2011. I'm here to give you all the smart picks that have you crushing your friends who always claim that they're going to own you. Let's start with the running back position. Here you're going to want to go with Courtney Quinn or Jen Riggs. Our sources say Courtney has the coach's ear. She'll know the playbook real well. But Jen's Asian genes give her quick reflexes and the brains to break down complex defense. Look for both of them to get you some serious points. Next, we have our QB pick, Jenny Van Kirk. Now JVK is packing serious heat and can thread the needle with the best of them. With her Midwest roots, she'll be able to adapt to any weather conditions, making her a consistent pick week to week. Now for your defense, you're going to want to pick up Kelly Kaufman. You won't find anyone else on the defensive line with her blend of aggressive play and charming personality. She'll make your QB sweat like a pregnant nun in a confessional.
That sounds great, Jake. Now tell us who we should be avoiding in our fantasy draft.
Well, to be honest with you, Tim, any player from a team that ends in enema isn't worth a shit. Basically, I would stay away from all the M1s. Now, as for the QB, she was overheard earlier this week bragging about how many home runs she was going to be hitting in this week's Powderpuff game. I wouldn't be surprised if she shows up with a bat, folks. As for the receiving corps, they are quite talented at juggling balls, as evidence of numerous occasions at Rhinos. However, there's only one ball to go around in this game. Now, Tim, Mark Norton is another one you want to stay away from drafting this week. Now, I know what you're thinking. Powderpuff is for girls, Jake. But my sources tell me that Mark Norton actually is a girl, and he'll be suited up for the game, ready to play. Most importantly, don't take anyone in the M1 defense. Their defense has more standing around and lack of communication than a PPC interview. That's all for me, folks, on your Fantasy Football Report 2011.
When we come back, we meet the M2s.
I was running and I fell and it hurts really bad.
Okay, can you tell me more?
It hurts!
Go on. Okay, what do you do for fun?
What?
Do you have a good support network? Are you a spiritual person?
Georgetown presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius!
Today we salute you, Mr. Useless first-year medical student.
Mr. Useless first-year medical student!
Every morning you wake up to stare at that white coat in the mirror and convince yourself that you actually know something about medicine.
You actually know nothing!
You were born with the one thing every first year needs to wear that white coat. Shoulders. Full of useless information, you pride yourself on your tremendous ability to memorize pure bull crap.
Niemann-Pick disease!
Diagnose a heart murmur? Not a chance. Name every enzyme in glycolysis? You betcha. You wear your white coats with pride, M1s, but Lord help you if you need to get up blood pressure. When you're in public and hear someone shout for a doctor, better duck. It's the most important lecture of the week, and the entire class is posting on Facebook.
So many wall posts.
Notification. Old YouTube clip that not even your grandmother chuckles at anymore.
Charlie bit my finger.
So crack open a nice cold Bud Light, oh connoisseurs of Cura Personalis, and keep posting everything you can find on Facebook. Except the men's. Brought to you by Georgetown University School of Medicine, class of 2014.
Now we go to the source of the M2's passion, dedication, and inspiration. Former Notre Dame fullback and current Succinate head coach, Mikey Narvaez.
Oh, I'm here with one of the few Irishmen with whom you don't need to be wearing your beer goggles to go home with. Now, Mikey, take me through the past few weeks and let me know, what's your team been doing to prepare for tonight's big game?
Well, we've been having a bunch of practices. Girls been working hard, showing lots of determination. Not even Dr. Furlong's pathology questions could keep them off the field.
Now, I know you've seen a lot of talent in your day, but what do you think about this M1 team?
Well, the last time I saw the combo of purple, green, and feces was when an enterovirus swept through my 3-year-old cousin's Barney birthday party.
So where exactly do you think the inspiration for this name came from?
You know what? It must have been that upcoming MHG test. Must have been constipated from it and lots of practice with enemas. That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay, well, that makes sense why the M2 team was so perplexed by their choice of names. I mean, given their vast medical knowledge and they've never experienced anything like that. But you played for Notre Dame before, right?
That's correct.
And if I remember correctly, you were a fullback.
That's right.
So can you tell me a little bit about those showers after practice?
Excuse me?
I mean, there were hot, sweaty men, and they were naked, right?
I'm sorry, I'm here to talk about football.
You know what? I apologize. My apologies. Sometimes I let my imagination get the best of me. But back to football. You played with Charlie Weiss, Jimmy Clausen, and even Brady Quinn when you were at Notre Dame, right?
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I'm not here to talk about myself and my experience. I'm here to talk about how the girls have been practicing very hard.
Wow, speaking of hard, exactly how big is Brady Quinn?
All right, I see where this is going, this conversation.
I thought that was a legitimate question. I mean, the fans want to know. It's getting hot in here. My apologies. Anyway, Tim, you heard it from the coach. Notre Dame is full of stud muffins, and the M1s are having some serious bowel movement issues, so back to you.
Anyway, after almost 14 whole months of medical school, the class of 2014 is ready to walk out onto the football field one more time as a team. Someday, they will be doctors, but for one more cool, breezy October evening, they will be real heroes, semi-professional athletes. The story of this night will be told and retold to their grandchildren. It's time to meet Succinate This.
Jenny Van Kirk, and I went to Bradley University.
Taryn Warris, Gonzaga University. Michelle Zara, Brown University. Sarah Arnsberger, Washington University in St. Louis. Tori Sass, Lehigh University.
Succinate This!
Kelly Carpenter, Vanderbilt University. Maria Dinan, UC Davis. Jen Riggs, University of Denver. Kathy Spalding, Vanderbilt University.
Megan Pryor, Pomona College.
Ashley Pariser, Brown University. Kirsten Ayano, the U.
Caitlin McGovern, Boston College.
Jenna Tarosi, Fairfield University. Aaron Gettler, Kansas State University.
Amy Osadnik, University of Colorado.
Catherine Ingard, Georgetown University.
Kelly Kaufman, Vanderbilt University.
Lauren Thornton, University of Florida.
Maggie Burke, University of Michigan. Courtney Quinn, USC.
Just about game time here in Georgetown. Nick, who's your pick to walk away with the W tonight?
Succinate this! Woo woo!